Hello, I think we're live. So that's pretty cool. Let me just check whether we need to go onto so we can see any comments or anything that come up. So this is very, very exciting. Oh, I'm so excited. This is so exciting. And it's the first time we've done this. So this is our first Let's Chat. So and the first time I've done a live. So yeah, it looks like it's all working. There we go.
Across continents. It's amazing.
And I can see us on Facebook. So yeah, so let's see what happens here, if we get any comments or anything, because this is, isn't this cool? Like, don't you just love technology? Here we are on Zoom and it's on our Facebook page.
I think so.
And you're across the, like, that's right, you're across the world on the other side of the world. This is just like so amazing.
Yeah. So with so many life, timelines actually. Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. So yeah.
Okay.
So welcome, Veronica. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming on live. And welcome to our first ever Let's Chat. So I'm really excited with this. So yeah, so everyone, I'd love for you to meet Veronica. Veronica is a master Feng Shui consultant. And yeah, you've been practicing this now for a long, long time. So we're honored that you have come to share your wisdom with us on how we can empower our environment, so how we can actually attract more abundance into our world, into our businesses, into our homes, into our lives. So.
Well, the pleasure is mine. The pleasure and the honor is certainly mine to be able to share this, because, going forward, energy, vibration is really the future. This is the way we should think, and we should start remembering basically what we intuitively know. And what I studied is really a science. It comes down to be a science and knowledge that has been passed down for many generations, and that is now being applied in a very modern and practical way. So thank you for inviting me. I'm honored.
It's so exciting. So yeah, so can you maybe share a little bit about Feng Shui? Because I mean, I know a little bit about it, but others may not be aware at all, or it would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So Feng Shui is really a body of knowledge that has to do with how to harness the qi, or the key from the environment into our home, so that we can operate in a better manner. So it is like one of my teachers talks about, connected to the Wi-Fi of the environment. And it really comes from nature. It really comes from your surroundings. The quality of your environment either increases or decreases the energy of your space. Because I made the mistake, like many of us, when we were young. I got my house and I thought, oh, I'm going to decorate it, I'm going to renew it, I'm going to do this and that. But the thing is that the energy comes from the outside. It's really nature. It's really how nature, when you look at nature and how, especially where I live, we have winters, we have summers, and it's amazing that from a dead plant, weeks later, we see a robust tree and flowers and stuff like that. So there's there's a miracle, happening in nature that it has been studied. And the thing that we know is that it's cyclical. To know that the cycles are there, we could apply that into our homes, so we could bring in that energy, benefit our health. It starts with our thought, our actions, our bodies, our health, and eventually, our prosperity. So that's what Feng Shui is about. And many people know it as interior design, but it's not truly interior design. It's more about energy, because it has compass directions. There's truly a science to it. The deeper you go, the more interesting and the more exciting it is.
Yeah. Wow. So no, I love it. I just actually love it. I've got people actually commenting and saying that we're it's not playing live. So let me just quickly respond to people, because I've got all these people wanting to join us and they're having issues. So let me.
Sure.
yeah, I'm not sure why it's not. I can see it on our page, on my page, so I don't know why everybody else can't. So that's interesting.
Mm.
Let me just very quickly, I don't want to interrupt you because if you've got people interested in coming on live so they can ask you questions,
yeah,
then we need to, yeah. So there we go. Let's see what happens there. So yeah, so
okay.
it's interesting, isn't it? So yeah, I didn't actually realize that so much of it is from the outside. You know, I'm the same too. You know, I really like to have balance in a room and everything that's pleasing to the eye and all of that. But if the outside is not good, then it doesn't really make much difference, does it? Like it's not, you know, it's more beneficial to have the outside.
Yes, because the inside, if it isn't renewed, it eventually becomes stagnant.
Wow.
Yeah. So you need some type of renewal, some type of energy that comes from the outside source. You know, that the energy has lived for years and years. And when we bring it into our home, or when we can tap into it, that's when it really works. And it's really not about a color, about purple or about red or anything like that. It goes much, much deeper than that.
Wow, that's interesting, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
how
whatever's in your home,
yeah.
would affect your business. So everything starts from the home. Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. I suppose because if you've got the energy isn't right in your home, then you've got that which you're taking forward into your business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? So yeah, so then how can we empower and attract more abundance into our businesses and homes? Like what can we do to do that?
So one of the simplest way is to follow how the energy pattern goes every year. Because energy, there's a huge celebration every year. I don't know if there's a big community of Asians in Australia, but the Chinese New Year is celebrated, and for a few reasons, because it marks the beginning of a cycle. And for example, this year is the year of the rat, and with it comes a new set of patterns for your environment and for your astrology. And following that really helps you go with the flow of energy. And for example, certain spaces become not as vibrant anymore. So you want to try to avoid doing certain things in the negative spaces and do more stuff in the positive spaces. For example, construction, renovation, moving furniture, those things are avoided in the negative spaces. I also tell my members, for example, whenever you have an important topic or an important family discussion or business discussion, for example, avoid doing it on the negative places, because the space influence our thoughts, and it's been scientifically proven that it does. Then your thoughts may not become as positive. So avoid getting into discussions or disagreements, for example, arguments, and just use the positive spaces. So that's how we do it. And many times I've tried to experiment. I've learned this stuff and I experiment also. And I try to see if what's going to happen. So I had problem with my computer, for example. I had a virus coming into my computer. I know a client had a renovation done in a place where she wasn't supposed to, and she got bit by a dog. Things like that happen. Sometimes people get into accidents. I have a time when I broke my wrist, for example, and it was due to something that we did energetically in our home. So any story or any experiment that I have is being based on what I've learned. And I try to say, really, are you really going to tell me that this is going to happen to my house? So I went down to experiment, and because that is the best way to learn.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No.
But you know what's fascinating? I didn't realize that every year the energy in the house changes. Like, I didn't realize that. Like the spaces, I mean, like I've got a Feng Shui book which tells you, like this is in that space and this is in that space, but I didn't realize that every year, based upon the change of energy of the year, that it actually changes the energy in your environment. That's cool, isn't it? That is that's really, so that's something we all have to look out for and make sure every year when it comes in that we change our environments to make the most of the energy so that we attract more abundance to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there has been a lot of bestsellers and books probably in the 80s and the 90s that published more of a simplistic way of Feng Shui. And that is really when Feng Shui exploded with the American Feng Shui. It's called the American Feng Shui. And that was more of where the wealth is in the rear left corner of your house. And that was really a very simplistic way that was more resonated more with rituals. And I studied that Feng Shui, and it's very much based on spiritual beliefs. But as I went forward, I knew there was more, so I went into study more, and I traveled to Southeast Asia. I studied under master teachers to learn more about it and get to the bottom of it. So it really comes down to you have to measure with a compass. Where's your home situated? That is really the most important thing, because that's what geomancy is. It's about knowing where your home is, how it is located, and knowing where the location of your kitchen is, your front door, your bedroom, your office, if you have an office at home, or your family room, wherever you spend the most time in. It's about knowing where that is, and that will give you a clue of what's going on, and also give you a clue as to where you want to be and what is that space good for you.
Wow.
For example, I moved to my office here. I converted our living room, which we hardly use, into an office. I moved here on purpose because it had a certain quality of energy. So with this, I can deliver more value, for example, with with my members or through my website. So that's why I moved here.
Wow. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So do you like to maybe share more about Feng Shui? I know that you've got some slides that you prepared to share with us all. Maybe
Absolutely.
also maybe share more about the different energy in the house and the rooms and all of that, as part of that.
Of course.
It'd be amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Yay. So let me share my slideshow. And I will slide. Okay, so for example, this one.
The house and the rooms.
Yeah. So putting into perspective is that our home, we spend so much money in our home. So Feng Shui helps you maximize more of your investment, because if, for example, a $1,500 mortgage or rent can become, in 10 years, $180,000. Are we maximizing your $100,000? So with Feng Shui, you can. So the energy map, this is how energies in different rooms can shift. So this is the energy map for 2020, and it's called the flying star. Star because these numbers represent quality, and it's based on the North Dipper, basically on the constellation. And because in old days people were very observant of nature and astronomy, and they discover how the change of it influenced our lives. So this is based on hundreds of years of study, and it's very much followed in a lot of Asian countries and places that practice Feng Shui. So every number is a certain kind of energy. It is positive within its natal origins. But when we see the map of 2020, it's a shift of it from its home. So a lot of energies, when they shift, they become negative. For example, in the East, we call it calamity or danger. obstacles, for example. Things can go wrong all the time. When I describe my experience with my computer, for example, I just, for some reason, I got a virus in my computer. I couldn't do anything. So I had to get it repaired. So it was a setback. You know, things can happen when this is in your office. In my case, was in my office. But let's say if the east is your entrance, it could affect everyone in the home. If it's a bedroom, it will affect the person in the bedroom. And the other negative energy to know of, to be aware of, is in the south. So for this, we need to have a floor plan of the house and divide the home into a tic-tac-toe grid like this, and to find out where the south is. And now with the big problem of the virus type of a thing, the south, to activate the south, and activate means that too much usage, for example, or construction in that area, or maybe there is air conditioning unit or something that may go there, or an extra unit, something that is above and beyond what you do all the time, may cause some illness there. And arguments in the north can also happen when there are certain conditions in there. When there's interior or external conditions. Sometimes if there is a negative feature outside your home that might be in the south, for example, illness will be much easier to happen. And what we recommend, for example, for the negative energies is that the elderly be on the positive areas, because their immune system is a lot weaker. Or if you're already a little sick, to avoid those negative areas. But of course, you know, every home has a different layout, and it depends, you know, how the home is laid out to differentiate how the effect would be, how strong or how small the effect would be on the homes. So that's why a floor plan is so important. And the degrees of how the home is situated gives you a lot more details and information. So that's with the negative. So it's good to know the negative and the positive. It's always about yin and yang. So minimize the usage on the negative sectors and maximize the usage on the positive sectors. And that would be the southwest, the west, and the north. So those are excellent this year. And so is the northeast and the southeast. So when I talk about, I do newsletters, and the southwest is really the area of the women, the female of the home. So it's a very good energy for the female of the home this year, whereas last year was not so. So that's how energy shift. So it's good to know the timing of things so you could do things, or you could plan for them. And although this is the map of the year 2020, you know, energy has a ebb and flow. And although the red areas are positive, there's going to be some time when they may not be so positive. It's going to be a quality, because it's a cycle. So that's a great thing about the cycle, that you can know when it's coming, how to plan for it, and how to use it. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I'm looking at this now going, wow, look at that. My entrance of my house is at number 5.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and my office, if I look at that, I actually sit right in the middle, which is actually pretty much between illness and discord of my room.
Okay.
So I'm now looking at it going, uh-oh. Wow. So what do we need to do to make us more abundant? Like when we look at that and go, ah.
So like I said, the first thing to do is plug the leaks. You know, where are the negative stuff happening? So look out for where it's going bad. So the front is usually, there's a couple ways. There's you could add metal in the east, metal being metal accessories, metal items. Some people do what is called the salt cure, but metal is really the best to put in the east and in the south for this kind of things. The the north can also benefit from metal actually. So whatever you own that is real metal, not painted metal, can help. And because it balances this element, and it's about the 5 elements. It's don't want to complicate issues, but it's the negative elements have to do with the planet of Saturn, and it has to do with the earth element, which is weakened by fire, by metal. So that's why we recommend the usage of metal. So I have metal chairs in the east, for example, or I may have a metal sculpture or metal vase or something like that in the east to help that. And it's about, to balance that out, it's about maximizing the wealth, for example, or the academic success or the investment. And it all depends on what you're looking for. What is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for present wealth? Then you use the Northwest. Are you using for future wealth or investments? You activate, the West. Or if the West, for example, is a back entrance, back door, use it a lot more. Sometimes, it may be about choosing not to use the front entrance very much. It could be, maybe there's another door that you could use. So that's what you could do also. Yeah, so it depends on what you're looking for. So this is how we could use the energy, and what it helps is, it helps to create life consciously rather than unconsciously, because we could take, every year, every month, same old, when it isn't the same old. And it is really in the small details that you do that you can make a difference. Yeah.
Wow. So what can we do to maximize abundance? Like I know you say we need to maximize that area, like that west side, but what do we actually do to maximize the west side?
So you could use that area.
Yeah.
You could choose to use that area a lot more than the negative areas. Yeah. If, for example, there's one year when the energy was bad for the whole year, and I just moved my laptop to a different room. And I use the room sparingly. I use it for whatever I needed to do, and avoided moving any furniture or anything like that. Just let things be. That's one thing that you could do to avoid disturbing the energy. Basically, that's what it is, a disturbance. So, and you want to just do a lot more in the areas that are good. Just move furniture in the good areas. Feel free to use it a lot more. Spend more time there. That's really how the ebb and flow can go. And then looking at it further in a more holistic manner is also seeing what is it in your personal astrology. Because every space, this is more of a generic 2020 thing. But when you go more deeper into that, it's about personalizing your space. What is it that, for Angie, for example, for your astrology, what is it that is going to be the best for you to do this year? And then activate whatever that area is in your home accordingly.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it could get a lot more specific. Yeah. So it's always good to be more specific, because that's how you can get results.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I have to really look at my office now as well and go,
Yeah, the best thing to do is have a floor plan. Have a floor plan, and then every phone has a compass now. And definitely measure, where the front of your house is in relation to your house. Don't measure the front door, just where the facing of your house is. This is called the facing. Sometimes the facing of your house is not the same as your front door, so you look and see, what direction am I getting? So that would be the true direction. Yeah, because sometimes you could get confused. The sun is not always directly in the east. Sometimes it's off a little bit depending on the season, for example. So that's why it's good to have a compass in a floor plan, and that would give you a lot more of a truer direction and location of where all these things are. Because like I said, the southwest affects the women of the house. The northwest is about the male of the house. The north, northeast, and the east is for the sons. The southeast, the south, and the west is for the daughters. So where negative energy is, where some homes are missing, they're not square, for example. The ideal shape of the house is square or rectangular. And when now modern homes have different designs where zigzagged and spaces are missing, for example, and that would affect, and that's empty, would affect a certain quality from the people that are living there also. Yeah. So it's really it's not called a science, but I think it's older than science.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what advice could you give somebody like now, like to maximize their business potential, their personal potential? Like what advice could you give them? What could they do? A couple of steps now to make some positive changes in their life.
I would start with a floor plan.
Mm-hmm.
I would start with directions, and I have a lot of free resources in my in my website. I could share those if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Okay.
And you can pop your details below in the comments on the Facebook Live. That would be great, so people can contact you as well.
Sure.
And they can go to your website and access the books and things. Yeah, wow.
Yes. So I have a lot of free resources on my website right now, and my website I just want to warn you, my website is a little under construction right now, so it's not the best, but you could find these resources in my website. So for example, this one gives you, it's a 30-page free PDF, and it will give you details about all these energies and what really Feng Shui is about. And this one over here tells you how to convert your year, your month, your day, and your hour of birth, and what animal you have has, like I said, has an effect on what's happening to you. And for example, this is the year of the rat, and this is the symbol for the rat. And if you have a horse, for example, it means that things are changing in your world. So it's good to know where your horse is, if it's in the year, month, day, or hour. And this little book will tell you what the pillars represent. And in a chart, this is a birth chart. And this little book over here explains a little bit about the planets, the planets that are associated with the year, the month, the day, and the hour, with the elements, the 5 elements. Yeah. And you can contact me right here. There's an email, there's phone number. And if you have any questions, if you want to know how to print your chart or anything like that, it's all there.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Welcome.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone would love to do that. I know I will. I'm going to go and check it all out and download them myself, because I really love that. And, I believe in energy and how it does affect us personally and affects everything around us, the energy and what we think, and all of that is energy. Everything is energy. So
everything is energy. Absolutely.
So if we can maximize our energy to make things more beneficial for us, then that's really, really important, isn't it? So thank you so much for coming today. And sharing your wisdom with us. I really, really appreciate it. I know the others will appreciate it. So anybody who's watching, if you're watching the replay, please pop some comments below. Let us know what you're thinking. We're so grateful that you're watching it. And we look forward to, do you have any last words that you'd like to say, Veronica?
I mean that it sounds really like unbelievable, but it's, for example, you could change people's lives just by I had the privilege of changing people's lives just by switching or shifting certain things. I use it in my own family, for example, and I was able to see my son grow a lot better and not get into trouble. That's at the basic things, and also help another family where the father is an oncologist and the mother is a nurse. And I found that their son was in the wrong direction. He was having leg cramps, leg pains. And just by switching him to a different direction, his cramps went away. And but the father was not believing in that. So he switched him back to the old spot and his legs started cramping again. So they moved it back. So, I mean, how do you, how do you explain that? So things like that happen because of energy. And as we go forward, I think we are learning more about how it works. You know, people are a lot more open to it. You know, it's not voodoo, it's not religion, you know, it's nothing like that. It's simply, it's truer than, you know, I think our modern world. I think energy is a lot more the true world rather than the world that we have created. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank
yeah.
you
So
so
thank you
much.
so much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So I'll just turn off the live stream. Thank you, everybody who's watching. We look forward to connecting with you. See you next time. The next Let's Chat will be in about a month's time. We're doing it once a month. So I hope you can pop in and connect with us next time. Have the most amazing and abundant day, and we'll chat with you soon. Bye.